Well, hate it or love it, Carson Beck is officially a Miami Hurricane. What's going on, Canes fans? In the Carson Beck video that we posted yesterday, we had noted that they had said he would make an announcement within 1 week. Well, they didn't waste any time because 24 hours later, he's officially part of the family. Now, most already know Carson Beck's history, but just as a quick refresher, as a starter at Georgia, keyword as a starter, he had a 24-3 record. This will be his 5th year playing college ball, and over his career so far, he's thrown for 7,912 yards, 58 touchdowns, and 20 interceptions. Obviously, the guy has a lot of experience. I mean, you can't argue against that. And he was really the better option when compared to the guys currently in the quarterback room. Now, again, nickel, yes, has a ton of promise, but the guy hasn't played a snap at the college level yet. We don't know a lot about Judd, and it's kind of a mixed bag with Emory. Some people like him. Some people think he should be given more of a chance. But the reality is he's not played a ton of college football yet. Now, this is all assuming that Beck has no issues bouncing back from his elbow surgery, but he's not expected to. Now, the big argument here, let's just go ahead and address the elephant in the room. There's multiple, by the way, but one of them is people comparing Carson Beck to Cam Ward. And I think that that's just a silly, pointless comparison to make. No, he's not Cam Ward, but is anybody that's currently on this roster Cam Ward? No. Is anybody that's available in the transfer portal right now or that was available that's now taken Cam Ward? No. Now, another big argument here is that people are saying Carson Beck is just straight trash. And it's not actually opposing teams fans that are pushing that narrative. It's more so Miami fans that are saying that. Now, I remember when opposing teams fans were saying Cam Ward is trash. This guy's a fumbling machine. He's not going to succeed at Miami. And now here we are. He's going to be a first-round draft pick in the NFL. And he had a super successful season at Miami. Did Miami meet their end goal of winning a national championship or competing for a conference championship? They did not, but Cam Ward himself did well. And if Miami had just even a half-decent defense, they probably would have been in the college football playoffs. But I don't want to make it seem like I'm comparing the two. The point I'm trying to make is it's not really opposing teams' fans that are talking about Carson Beck being trash as much as it is Miami fans saying that Carson Beck is trash. And it's not me trying to divide, but a large portion of the fan base did not want this guy. They wanted to see Mario Cristobal and this staff ride it out with the guys that are on the team. But that decision just doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I am all for Emory Williams, Judd Anderson, and Luke Nickel. But you got to understand, man, that college football has changed. And as much as it feels icky at times and we don't like it, it feels, professional and it's all about the money. Miami can't just sit back and watch this unfold and not utilize these resources. If you want to win, teams are going out and, filling out their roster with transfer portal guys. Would I prefer for them to bring in, for instance, a franchise quarterback, a guy that comes in and plays for 3 years and they develop him? Yes, of course I would. That's what I want. But sometimes this is just what you have to do. You want to compete with the best. You want to be in the game. You got to play the game. And this is part of the game, at least for the time being, until something changes, if it ever does. So I wouldn't expect Miami to sit back and be like, well, we just have to ride it out with some of these inexperienced quarterbacks and see what happens, when there are options on the table in the portal, guys that want to come to Miami. Miami has the money. I would expect them to make these moves. I'm just saying that I fully understand why the staff would want to bring in an experienced guy that overall has played pretty well in his college career. Yes, he took a step back in 2024. I get it. But still, when you compare his 2024 stats to some previous quarterbacks minus Cam Ward at Miami, his stats were still better than most of those guys. So for us to come on here and just call him straight trash, what does that make those guys? That's just kind of a wild take to me. Unless you just dislike the guy because you think he's unattractive, I see that as a big thing. And a lot of people keep comparing me to him. They say that he looks like me. Like, I'm going to stand here for a second. Bro, I don't see it. I'm all for the jokes, but I don't see it. But look, I'm not here to argue about if our quarterback is attractive or not. What I want to do is bring in a guy that wins football games. And I think that if you give Carson Beck a solid O-line, surround him with weapons, I think he's good enough to win at Miami, and he's good enough to win in the ACC. Now, this guy is not expected to participate in spring. We all know that, but he is supposed to be ready by the summer. Now, does this mean, that does bring up the question, does this mean that Emory Williams transfers out once that spring portal window opens up? I don't know. Time will tell, because this will be the battle in spring for the backup position. So it would be Emory, Judd, and Luke competing. And Emory's been at the college level for several years now and probably does want to play. I get it. But I don't know. It'll be up to him. Miami does need, I like to have at least 4 quarterbacks in that room. So if he leaves, Miami still might go look for another backup guy, maybe in that spring portal window. I don't know. Again, Luke Nickel is a great option, but he's a freshman. So we'll see. I hate it for him if he does transfer out. But this, again, I'm going to go harp on it again. I think this was the right decision. Once Beck entered the portal, he was considered the top available option, and this is even over the guys that have already been picked up by other teams. So his ranking in the transfer portal, top QB, this makes 2 years in a row that Miami has went out and secured the top transfer portal quarterback. You did it last year with Cam Ward. You do it this year with Carson Beck. Time will tell if it pans out. I don't know. Will he be the same after that elbow surgery? Word on the street is he's supposed to, for the most part, not going to be super limited by it. Obviously, it is a little bit concerning, but he's going to be surrounded by a great medical team. They're not stupid. It's not like they weren't aware of his surgery. They're going to have people evaluate him. They're going to let the staff know what they believe he would be capable of after rehab and by the time football rolls around. They're not just going into it blind and saying, well, let's just roll the dice. This costs a lot of money. This is a guy that you're bringing in that you are handing the keys to, so he's going to be running the offense. I think it was the right decision. It was the right decision. And whether you hate him, whether you love him, this is college football now, and this is where we're at. And I'm happy that they went and got the guy. He's part of the family now. He's a Miami Hurricane. I will welcome him. I will root for him. I will cheer for him. And I just want to see this team win. I want to see this team win. And it's year 4 for Mario Cristobal, and more than ever before, it's important that this team wins. They need to be in the conference championship this season. But let me know your thoughts. You know that this is a judgment-free zone from me. You are allowed to voice your opinion. If you think the coaching staff made a mistake, let it be known down in the comments. If you're happy about it, fire back. We can go back and forth in the comments. It's perfectly fine. Remember, though, guys, we're all one big happy college football family, but at the end of the day, I got to say, it's always better when you get to rep the U. Coach Coop, peace out. I'll see y'all in the next one.